Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
In Fairfield County, something new comes across my desk every day. Crimes are committed, cases are solved, and a community is made safe by the hardworking employees of the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office. Welcome to This Week with Sheriff Dave Phelan, a weekly program here on LSN Television. We're also carried by a number of the radio affiliates here in Lancaster and beyond. Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week. The students here at Fairfield Christian Academy that actually put the program together. Our executive producer, Kelly Roberts, lines up the guests, the questions, and does a great job behind the scenes. We got a great guest this week. We got Lee Hawks, Sergeant with the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office. Good to see you, Lee.
Good morning, Sheriff.
And a veteran. And really does a terrific job. You're assigned now to 3rd Trick
Yes.
on the patrol division. Now you've worked all different shifts. So kind of what's the difference between the kind of police work you might do on one shift or another, or some of the things you see on 3rd shift that the viewers or listeners might be surprised about?
I would say that on 3rd shift we have to be a little bit more proactive than reactive.
Right.
2nd shift you may be bombarded with call volume. There's a lot of calls for service on seconds and even day shift. 3rd shift you're kind of like the security of the county. You're driving around making sure neighborhoods are safe and checking businesses and things like that.
Yeah, I bet you see somebody out at 3 or 4 in the morning. In the daytime, you might not think anything about it, but you see them out there, driving through a parking lot or something like that. You have to pay attention.
Yes, we may identify someone who's looking for theft opportunities, OVIs. There's all kinds of things that would occur in the middle of the night.
Now, you tell us a little bit about your background. You're a local guy here, or did you?
I'm kind of a transplant.
Okay.
I've been in Southern Ohio since '97. Been here at the Sheriff's Office since 01.
Okay.
I have a narcotics background. I enjoy working narcotics-related cases. I think drugs are connected to most all crime that we have. Enjoy being a member of the SWAT team. We provide a good service to the county here, and that's pretty much about it. So,
and you also do a lot of teaching across the state of Ohio, right?
Yes. From my narcotics experience, I've done a lot of teaching, various different law enforcement agencies, public safety, children's services. At one point I even had some contracts with the Ohio Supreme Court. Okay. And on a personal note, you're a softball coach with your daughter? Yes, I keep a very busy schedule between work, teaching, and trying to keep up with her. Our summers are very busy. We play travel softball. Wow. And it keeps us very busy. Do you enjoy that? I love it. I wouldn't trade it for anything. You know what's surprising to me, and I'm not a big sports guy really, but it's funny how you can see some coaches that year after year they have good teams. Oh yes, yes. It's been a tough road for us. When we started as a new team with our organization, it took a couple years to build it up, but now we're looking pretty good for this coming season. And also, before airtime, you showed me some pictures of you're kind of a woodworking guy. Yeah, if I get time for it in between the rest of my either work or familial duties, I do enjoy to do some woodworking, and it's a soothing hobby. Now, one of the things that we've seen probably in the last 24 months in our county is we've seen what appears to be an increase in methamphetamine. Yes, huge increase. I know I've seen several cases where the deputies have stopped individuals. We've had responses to calls where we're dealing with individuals high on methamphetamine, which can be difficult in and of itself because of the amount of control it takes over a person's brain and body. Sometimes these people are very violent or paranoid. Takes a little extra care in how you deal with these individuals.
What would be, for our viewers and listeners out there, what would be some signs that if they had a child or something that they might notice some differences, or a friend or something like that, in their behaviors or appearance or whatever?
With many of your drugs of abuse, you'll find that parents or the adults, the users, tend to neglect the child. You'll see a decrease in their hygiene. They may be hungry because they're not getting fed on a regular basis, because the user tends to be consumed with the drug.
Okay.
So the neglect rate of the child is very high. These people stay up. If you're looking at methamphetamine or crack cocaine or some of your stimulants, the users will stay up for long periods of time. So they tend to sleep during the day when the child should be cared for by the adult, and they're not.
And you know, I just think about myself. If I've had 2 or 3 nights where I haven't gotten a lot of rest, just within that time, you can really tell a difference in the way you feel. I just cannot imagine someone staying up, you know, day after
Yes.
day and not getting any rest.
We see individuals that come into the jail who are using so much methamphetamine that they may be up for 5, 6, 7 days at a time, and they come in what we would call psychosis. They're very agitated or paranoid. They may be talking to things that aren't there. It's concerning.
Now, changing gears here a little bit, you're a member of our SWAT team.
Yes, sir.
And tell us a little bit about the SWAT team here in the county.
I think the county should be very proud of the SWAT team we have. We've kind of developed it. We used to be a special response team, and we've taken on a little bigger role becoming a SWAT team, which is, there's some pretty dynamic differences between the two. There's obviously an increase in training and responsibility for the members that are there. I think it's a huge asset to the county that we are available to go resolve very high-risk critical incidents when needed. We don't have a lot of them in the county, thank goodness, because
yes,
we do live in a good county, but we are available for that when the time comes.
And I'm glad you mentioned that about a good county, because one of the things that we talk about week after week, we talk about crime, we talk about criminality and those type of things, but the reality is Fairfield County, by any measure, is a safe and secure community.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if we do have the types of scenarios that we see play out on the 6 o'clock news all the time, we're ready and available to handle those situations.
Now, one of the things as a patrol sergeant, what are some of your duties within the sheriff's office?
All of our supervisors manage a shift of personnel. We direct them to how or where they're going to patrol. We manage the personnel as far as their assignments, approving paperwork, making sure things get off to court. I personally maintain our statistics for the sheriff's office, put together statistical reports. We have scheduling. If there's any disciplinary issues that arise,
and you're one of the supervisors that really you're really proactive. I think you demand that out of the deputies, because what I've seen is that you guys are out there, you're stopping cars, you're getting involved with getting search warrants. So you do a lot of proactive policing, especially on that third shift.
I think in order to maintain a good, safe, and secure community, the law enforcement has to be proactive. The times have changed where being reactive doesn't necessarily cut the muster there. You have to be proactive to prevent and interrupt crime that is going to occur. It's better to interrupt it before it happens than wait for it to happen.
On third shift, which is 11 to 7 in the morning, is when you work. What are some of the types of crimes that you come across?
We've recently been dealing with some car break-ins, and we've had an increase in burglaries to outbuildings.
Okay.
Where people are stealing things like chainsaws and lawnmowers and other yard implements. One of the things I would recommend to any of the viewers would be to inventory your property that you have. Take a day, it's spring right now, everybody's doing some spring cleaning. Go to your garage, go to your shed, if you have 20 valuable items in there, your cordless drill or your lawnmower, write down the make, model, and serial number and stash it away somewhere.
Is there some things that they could make their property more secure, make that outbuilding more secure?
Sure. Motion lighting is a very simple, you can go to the hardware store and maybe $10 or $15 buy a motion light that you can set to turn on if there's any motion. A lot of times that will interrupt a thief. There's very inexpensive alarm systems that you can buy these days with technology.
Right. Even what we've seen is a lot of the cameras.
Yes, cameras. Cameras are very valuable. Placement of the cameras is key, though. Making sure that you can see obviously a vehicle at the street,
right,
or good lighting and view of where the suspect would be. You wouldn't want it up on top of a 100-foot pole looking down. You'd want it somewhere at eye level where you could see the perpetrator.
And one of the things we also notice is, I would guess that you see is the impaired drivers in the middle of the night, the people coming home from the bars and those kinds of things. Has
Yes.
that kind of tapered off over the years, or has it kind of been steady? Or
I feel that it has. I think between our enforcement efforts, the state's enforcement efforts, I've participated in some of the OVI checkpoints and things like that. I think the numbers are very down compared to, let's say, 8-10 years ago.
And I will give MAD some credit for that, because over the years they have been very proactive in getting the alcohol levels lowered. They have awards banquets giving officers and deputies awards that have had the most OVI arrests during the course of the year. So MAD has had, in my view, a significant impact on the number of drunk drivers we see today as opposed to maybe 20 years ago.
Yes, I think it's a dramatic decrease.
And the other thing is impaired drivers, where people are not paying attention. I read a survey many years ago where it talked about if you have a juvenile in a car, some of the causative factors is after 9 o'clock, they're being distracted, there's other kids in the car, those type of things.
Yeah, we've had some distracted driving cases, people fumbling around with a cell phone or the car radio, or even children in the back seat. I can recall a traffic stop by one of the deputies on second shift where they'd stopped a woman who had she was just turned completely around yelling at the kids in the back seat because they were acting up, and
right.
The deputy took the time to stop them and just inform her that, hey, listen, you take your eyes off the road, and maybe none of you go home. And she was very appreciative of that and was given a warning and sent on her way. And
having 2 grandchildren that just started driving, I think, I pray about them and pray for them every day, and it's always a worry to me. Every time they leave the house or go out, because they don't have the experience, and it's the leading cause of death for teenagers is car accidents.
My daughter starts driving coming into next year, so it's a concern for me too.
Don't you also think that just being a good example for your teenager, the way they see you drive, the way they see you handle yourself?
Absolutely. You're a mentor all the time, and I think your behavior helps dictate what your child is going to do.
We're going to have you back next week. We're going to have a great program next week, a program that I think is going to be very interesting to our viewers and listeners. We're going to talk about traumatic events, what effect they have on law enforcement officers, what effect they have on families. And certainly you've been through a number within even the last couple of years that have been very traumatic. So we're going to talk about how deputies, how officers handle those things, and some of the coping things they know or follow, and hopefully give the listeners and viewers a sense of some of the things you go through. Sgt. Lee Hawks, till next week, same time, same place. God bless, and we'll see you right here next week.